Not once, not twice, but countless times. Ugandans have over the years voted for their national leaders. Several have expressed interest in the presidency to the extent of contesting for the same.
If the polling is transparent and there is no cheating, of course I will accept the results.
The vote has always ended in favor of Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
If there is no cheating, 80%.
But what exactly comes with this office?
Close all the education institutions which accounted for 15 million Ugandans. Those ones were closed.
This is how the streets of Kampala, Uganda's capital city, and its outskirts appeared in mid-March 2020. A nationwide lockdown had been declared by the head of state due to the COVID-19 outbreak.
We therefore adopted the strategy.
Several presidential addresses followed during this period, and directives were issued, obeyed, and enforced.
In conformity with international law, this prohibition of incoming passenger planes will come into force 24 hours from midnight to night. That is to say, on the 21st of March 2020.
But how would the orders of just one individual be effected across the country? It is derived from the national constitution, and this is where it all begins. The grounds are always prepared with the koloro, often ready for history.
President of the Republic of Uganda,
At the center of it all is a moment both quiet and monumental.
For you to administer the oath of allegiance and the oath of the president.
I, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni,
Hand raised, eyes forward. A voice that has become familiar over decades, yet bound each time by the same words.
that I shall faithfully exercise the functions of the President of Uganda.
That oath is where power begins.
So help me God.
Not in the gun salute, not in the parade, but in the Constitution.
Is the President receiving?
Moments later, the symbols follow. One by one, they are brought forward, carefully and deliberately. The Constitution remaining firm and unyielding as the supreme law, the national flag, black, yellow, and red as the spirit of Uganda, the presidential standard marking the presence of the head of state. Then comes the coat of arms with the crested crane and the cob for Uganda's heritage and identity. The public seal, symbolizing authority behind every state decision. The sword and the shield are symbols of protection, not aggression. These are not mere ceremonial objects, but the architecture of power. Each one answering a different question. Who gives authority? Who executes it? And who is it meant to serve?
It shows that the three pillars are in concert, they're into play: the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature. But this supreme power is given to the president. Those functions and the rights that the president exercises are all derived from the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda.
The executive powers give the head of state more authority and power to govern, because the structure of leadership cannot be equal. There must be the overall. The back ends with the head of state.
So, are these instruments for the state, the country, or the nation? They are inseparable because the state governs through law, the country exists within borders, and the nation lives in its people. And these instruments bind all the three into one presidency.
There are these three words: country, nation, state. Country is the land where you live. I think it is from Latin. The land before you. Nation are people who are descended from one ancestry. Because that word nation is also, I think, originally from Latin. It must be meaning natis, something like to be born. State is the organized authority over the land.
At Entebbe Airport, Prime Minister Milton Obote.
Uganda's journey to these instruments is not recent.
Sergeant Major Sidney Small of Birmingham.
From the lowering of the Union Jack in 1962 to the turbulent years that followed to the rebirth of constitutional order under the 1995 Constitution.
by the Chief Justice.
These symbols were shaped by history, refined by experience, and anchored in the need to never again follow the path of lawlessness.
And bear the true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve.
When the newly sworn-in president steps forward, uniforms gleam and boots strike in unison. He walks slowly past the guard of honor, measured, observant, and presidential.
It shows very clearly that we adhere to the rule of law and order, and to ensure that constitutionalism are the bearing and clear instruments that are handed to the president when he's being sworn in for 5 years, which is a mandate given to him by the people of Uganda.
The moment you win and you go to what we call plot one Nakasero, the back of the country ends with you. You can only run government with a team of people whom you have a right to appoint, because again, this is your mandate. You are the one with the mandate. Either in the judiciary, you have a role. Even the laws we pass, the laws we are going to pass in parliament, I'm going to be in the 12th parliament. You can only pass a bill. It cannot be an act of parliament until the head of state has signed or acceded to it.
Uganda prepares once again, not just for a ceremony, but for a reaffirmation that power is not seized in the shadows. It is handed over in the open, not enforced by fear, but guided by law and carried in the weight of the instruments of power. Henry Okrut, UBC.